this computer. Okay, we're now going in. It's right now October the 7th. AD 2021, and it is 6 o'clock in the evening. This is CAD for construction, fall semester 2021, and we are working right now on week 7. And on week 7 right now, what we're working on right now is a question about the previous work, the previous assignment, which was actually on the foundation plan. And what we had seen is that by default, when we put in a dimension right here, we are not getting the dimension that we'd like. And so if I go to here, this right now, let me do this again. I'll go ahead and make this dimension. I'll go ahead and pick here and then here. And when I do that, it tells me it's 1'8". Now 1'8" is accurate, but it's not how we want that to be. So it's a true dimension, but it's not what we want it to be. So the brown one is what it shows up as. So how do I make it look like 20 inches? Well, this is what you would do. You'd click on the dimension in question, and then you bring up your properties. Now, the properties can be opened up by holding down your control key and hitting number 1. Control number 1 opens them and closes that. Okay, so you can use control 1, or if it's not open, you can simply right-click your mouse and choose properties down here. When you choose properties, there it is. Now, what we would do is we'd scroll down here to our dimension units and change it from architectural to fractional. Okay, because if I go here, I can go ahead and go through these different items right here. I've got decimal, I got engineering, I got fractional, and so forth. I got to choose fractional. Now I have fractional, does that just says 20. Well, 20 what? Well, this is where you can actually put in a suffix, and I'm going to put in the inch notation like that. And I say 20 inches, and I go ahead and do that, and that's what I would do to correct that. So that's how I do that. Does that make sense, Elijah?
Yes.
Okay.
I was just overthinking it. I was thinking of you do it a different way, but it's very simple now that I see it.
Yep. There's not that much to it. There's a couple different ways you could do that. That's probably the easiest right there. Another way you could, well, yes, that's the best way to do it right there, because you're still maintaining the dimension. All right. Any other questions about this before we move on from here?
I have another question.
Yeah.
Okay, so my problem was like, I don't know if that was a question Elijah had asked, but my problem is that when I was trying to do the dimensions for like the top portion where it's like you see 20 and then the other one is like 18, 10. I didn't know how to like get the 18, and it was just coming out weird because like when I did the first one, 12 inches was like 1 for me, and I was just like, why?
Yeah, same thing. And so what you would do is the same thing as just what you had here. You have to override it. I probably should fix this for you guys, but I kind of gave you a little bit of a dirty trick here. But same thing, you just scroll down here, it's the exact same thing. And you would just go down here to your dimensions, and you would go ahead and change the dimension units like I did here to fractional, and you put in a suffix. Same thing.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
then will we get any points off for that if I didn't know?
Well, I did show you last week, so yeah, there'll be points taken off.
Okay.
Yep. But don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. That's a formatting thing. And yeah, I did go over that. And so also I've got, several different videos out there where I go over the same thing. So there was ample opportunity to find that. So I get it. If you were kind of like skimming over the video, you might not have seen that. And also when I know it's got to be tough for you guys. This class goes on. If I'm teaching class and I'm the one talking and I'm getting bored. So, I mean, I can't imagine what's happening to you guys. I'm doing my best to keep it lively, and throw in some interesting, humorous anecdotes and stuff. But the thing is, I can only do so much when I'm talking about geometry, but I try. Anyway, but yeah, it's got to be murder for you guys. And I get that. So I know it's tough to watch, but that's why I make the videos, because I realize you're probably going to zone out at least at some point. So you got the videos to go over the same content. So it's all there. Just avail yourself of it. It'll help. Any other questions about this here? Going once?
Professor?
Yeah.
So for the windows, I know you didn't put the windows inside of the what is it? the sketch for us. So I imported the windows from other sketches. Was that okay? And then I like changed the property so it fits that portion 6 feet.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll totally accept that. Whatever you do for the windows, as long as they're 6 feet wide and they fit inside there, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you.
I'm good. As a matter of fact, I would applaud you for your creativity in doing that. So that's a good thing. So very good. Any other questions? And by the way, I'll throw this out right now. If anybody has kind of like missed a couple of assignments and or maybe has some stuff late and they need to get extra credit, let me know. I can give you an extra credit assignment. And the thing is, I've got one out there right now. I could give you more if you guys need them. But right now, I think most of you have put in at least a good amount of your work right here. And so I think we're good to go. But, you know, as we're going through here, if you're aware you kind of, or if you're not sure where you're at, if you need me to give you an average, just shoot me an email and say, hey, Mr. Brennan, Professor Brennan, I need to know how I'm doing with this. And I'd be happy to work with you on that. More than happy to do that. So we can take care of that too. Any other questions before we get into tonight's content? No, okay. All right, good. Well, tonight shouldn't be too difficult. This is now you're a privileged audience right now because you're getting the live version of my most popular video. My video out there has what's it got? I don't know, 7,000 views now, which is kind of crazy, but it's this one right here. Why?
If it's the foundation one, that thing has been recommended to me so many times.
The foundation, no, this one is the one I'm doing tonight is going to be the wall section. I'm doing the wall section.
That's what I mean, sorry.
Yeah, for some reason, someone got a hold of this. I don't know why. I really don't know why. All my videos, I do them the same way. I've looked at this thing and said, why is this so popular? Does everyone just have to know how to do a section? I really don't know why. But it's like all my other videos. I have like maybe 20, 30, maybe 100 views. And then you got this one's got 7,000. What's different? I have no idea. And, you know, I have no idea. I just don't know, but it is. And so for whatever reason, someone got a hold of it and it's been very popular. It could be that people just need to have a good straight up, you know, idea as far as how to draw a section. So anyway, I don't know. I really don't know, but it's catching on like it. I'm just kind of surprised. I'm just looking at the thing and it's like this just constant going up type thing. I don't know why I keep on getting views with it and nothing else does. Oh, well. I can't worry about it. It's just what it is, but I'm glad it's doing well. And that's great. But what we're going to do tonight is we are going to do a wall section. Now, what we talked about last week is we talked about the fact that as we're looking at our project right here, let me just do something. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for a minute because I got to go dig something out. And I want to make sure that I find it so you're not seeing anything on my screen that I don't want you to see. And we'll go ahead and do this. And what I've got is a couple of things out here that actually allow me to do a little bit of work here. So where would this be? Let's see. All right, it's not there. Okay, I don't think it's there at all. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I do have it. Okay, so got the Southfield sketch and the Southfield photograph. Okay, so we got those. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you this, and we'll go back to there. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to share my screen, which is this one here. Share it. Okay, now I share my screen right here. Are you guys seeing this blue house right here?
Very nice house.
Yes. Well, this is what you've been drawing. This is what you've been drawing. And I wanted you guys to get the visual on this. This would be a preliminary sketch. Like if you had an artist who was like, okay, basically an artist would have some kind of architectural background too, but they'd go ahead and do a rendering, an idea as far as what this would look like. So we got this right here. This is what we've been drawing. And so what we've been drawing here, it's actually got the front projection out, and then it's got the 3 windows, and it goes down. Now, in this particular case, our particular version of this did not have the, let me do this. I'm trying to spotlight. It did not have the, this porch section or the garage. Those were not built in our project. Now, that being the case, there's actually another option over here that I want to show you, which I'll go ahead and open up here. And that's over here. And I'm going to double click on this one, which is the Southfield photograph. So I'm going to double click on this. Okay, now here's the other one. Here's the actual built structure. So it actually was sketched. And this is actually what it looked like as it was being put together. Now, again, I omitted this, this porch section right here, but the rest of it is all the same. So all this is what we did. Now, we did last week the foundation plan down here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a section. We're going to do a section plan of this. So we're going to be doing this. And as we go into this, get in the section right here, we're all putting all these things together. Because again, when you're doing a set of construction plans, okay, and that's what it is, CAD for construction, you're going to be basically having, you know, a floor plan. And then from the floor plan, you're then going to have a foundation plan. And then from the foundation plan, you're going to have elevations. And then from the elevations, you're going to have a wall section. So the wall section is the next thing we're going to work on tonight. So a wall section is if you took a Lego model and talked about this last week. I talked about the Lego model. Let me get my Lego model. I'll be right back. And because I have a Lego model here. 1 second.
He's very prepared.
That's me. Always prepared.
If you have a Lego model of that house, I'd be very impressed. That's so cool.
No, I think he has it because he's I'm always prepared. And I was like, that seems pretty cool.
Perfect. Well, this is not quite what you're going to be looking for. But the thing is, what I want to do is kind of show you how this all works out though. So let me, I don't see you guys. Let me see what's going on here. Somehow this all changed. Okay, there we are. Okay, now what I got right here is a Lego model. Now this is a Lego model that was made by my kids some years ago. And what it was done for was to hold my pencils. Okay, now here's the thing about a Lego model. When you're working with a Lego model, and this one really got destroyed, it fell on the floor. My grandkids got into it. So anyway, my kids made it for me. My grandkids destroyed it. I don't know what the message is there, but it's there. So you got this Lego model here. So what's up with a Lego model? A Lego model is this. It is a 3D representation of an object. Okay, it could be a house. It might be a car, it might be whatever. Okay, but this is just a Lego model. So here's the thing. When you got the Lego model, you're taking a look at it. And if I take a look at it from the top and look down, that would be your floor plan. Like, well, for you, that's okay right there. That's your floor plan. Okay, so you're looking right straight down at it. If it's this view, you're looking straight on. What is that?
Front view?
Look at
elevation.
It'd be an elevation. See, the sides are all elevations. Look at it from the side. And if you're looking at the part that's actually underground, that would be your foundation. So you got that. So you got the floor plan, you got the elevations, and you got the foundation plan. Now, what else do we need? Well, what you simply need is this. you gotta rip half of it off. And when you rip half of it off, you get what is called something else. And someone will be bold enough to tell me what this would be. So let me go ahead and do this. So then when I do this, and I rip half of it off, what would that be called?
A wall section?
A section, yes, it's a section. I gotta pull this together. Okay, so anyway, we'll put that aside. Okay, and so it's, oh, the sacrifices I make for you guys. Okay, so we've got this, we got this thing here. And so we've got this Lego model, and we now are gonna look at a section. So a section is gonna be, how would I basically depict what's inside the wall? Now, why is that even important? Well, the reason why it's important is because everything you make has to be explained to whoever's building it. My builder, his name is Bernie Sportsengruber. And in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you exactly how we did this. But anyway, right now, what's inside a wall is important. Let me give you an example. For those that are involved in building, one of the most important decisions is this 2x4 or 2x6 construction? You know, how thick is the wall? How thick is that? The next thing you'd want to determine is, okay, do we have gypsum on the inside or do we have something else? On the outside, do we have sheathing? And then do we have some kind of brick on the outside? Do we have some kind of stonework on the outside, or do we have vinyl siding? Which is it? You know, so these are all things that you would actually be interested in with your wall section. So the wall section tells those stories, and the wall section also reveals something else. And that is the insulation, as well as how the actual wall is fastened into the footing. So those are all things that we have going on right here. So those are things that are important that you want to take a look at. So as I get into this right now, and as I'm into this right now, I'm in here and we're working on this next one. We are now here on week 7, wall section. And what I've got is these sections right in here. I got the wall section right here. And if I go ahead and click on this, it'll begin to do this, and it will give me my wall section. That's my template. So I went ahead and pulled down the template right there. That's that. And then this is actually, so that's your template. Wall section 2021 is a template. I should have written template, oh well. And then down here, this is what it looks like. Okay, so down here, I'm going to download this and I'm going to open that up. I'll go ahead and go to save it. And then I'll go ahead and open it. So I open this up, it looks like this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rotate that if I can. I think I got some tools here. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to rotate that. And it looks like this. Now, what do we got going on here? Well, we got a few things happening. It's not terribly complicated, but what's going on right here, I want to point something out here. Let me just kind of share something here that will maybe start to make some sense here. Okay, first of all, this is your wall. You got the wall right here, and you're only seeing part of it. There's insulation in the wall, and this is a 5-inch wide wall. Okay, but you see 5 inches right here. Now we file this down, and then it's got like a it's got an anchor bolt. It's actually got a 2x4 that's holding it down right here. So you got the anchor bolt right here. And then this is your concrete floor. This is your concrete floor in your basement. And then you have something interesting here. You got a 5-inch wall here. And then you've got an 8-inch wall here. And then you've got a 1 foot 8-inch wall here. That's a 20-inch wall. Okay. So you got the 20-inch wall, you got the 8-inch wall, and you get the 5-inch wall. Well, where have I seen that before? Well, where we've seen that before is actually right here, right here. Look familiar now? 5-inch, 8-inch, 20-inch. That's what you're looking at. Now, that's what this is right here. This is what this section is. So this is where this A section right here, so the A section right there, which is a little bit irritating. I'm gonna go ahead and do this real quickly here. I'm gonna get rid of this and this because I want to go ahead and put this one in. I made this section. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this right here. I'm going to drop this and go ahead and do that. And I'm going to make that A and A. Okay, so go here, A and A. Okay, do that, hit okay. All right, so I got that. So my AA section is actually cutting right there. So this is if you were to actually saw through the wall and then take a look at it right there. That's what that is right there. So that's what that view is right there. So that being the case, what we're seeing then is this over here. This is actually what we have right here. That's what you would see. If you cut the wall right there, this is what you would see. That's what's being depicted right there. So that being the case, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this together here. Now, as we have this right here, and as we put this together, that should be pretty accurate. There's a few things in here that I need to reflect and put this together here. So I just downloaded a new template. So we're going to work on this one tonight. And we'll put this one together. So let me just do one thing. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop my share just for a second because I want to find the most recent version of the wall section. So let me go take a look for this real quickly here. So I'll do this. I'm going to look for this wall section. So I'm going to go over here and the wall section is going to be somewhere over. Let me go find that. Let me find the most recent version. Okay, wall section. Okay, so I got, I think, a latest and greatest version here. Let me go just do a quick look for it. And because I want to, it's always good to have this stuff in as you should. So wall section, working on that right there. All right. And so we'll go ahead and do this. Now this one shouldn't be, it shouldn't be too long tonight. It really shouldn't be. I'm going to be showing you guys a couple different things, but nothing terribly, terribly different. So as we get into this, we'll see that. And what do we have here? So wall section 2020, is that the one? That would be the one. Yeah. Okay, so wall section, that might be the most recent version. Okay, I'll go ahead and open that up. And so I'm up the wrong version, but that's okay. We'll open up 2020, that's okay. Okay, so that is a start there. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, yeah, that's got everything in it. So what I can do here is I'm going to go to here and I'm going to change this. Now you'll notice, first of all, that this insulation is way too narrow. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change the scale of it. So I'm going to change the scale of it by going here. Question?
Are you trying to show us on your screen? Because I don't think it's screen sharing if you are.
Yeah, it's okay. Let me turn it back on here. Let me do that real quickly here. Let me turn this back on. So back over here. Thank you for that. And we'll go here and we will do this and share my screen. It's this one here and share. Can you guys see this now? Can you see AutoCAD?
Yes.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for keeping me honest there. Okay, so what I've got here is I got this insulation, but it's way too narrow. So I'm going to click on that. And this is just a quick heads up right here, and the line type scale here, I'm gonna make that 1, and that's not right, so I'm gonna make it 4. And that looks pretty good. Okay, right there. That fills the gap pretty good right there. So that's 4. So that's actually a line type, which we'll get to. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do this if I can. I think I can do this. I'm going to go ahead and grab this stuff, grab this whole thing, grab this whole thing. Come on, click, grab it all. And then I'm going to do Control C. And I think I should be able to dump it into 2022. We're going to find out. You guys get to see this live right now. So I'll go into here, see if I can knock this out, see if I can paste this. Paste with base point, and I'll go here and nope, didn't do it. All right, so try it again. So I'm going to go paste, board paste. There it is. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so I'm going to move this over, and we'll just go ahead and do this. Get this out of here. Okay, so what we got here is this is what it looks like. Okay, that's what we have going on. So what indeed is going on here? Well, let's find out. So first of all, I'm going to just get rid of that, and you've got some information here. Now, one of the things I did here, and that I actually included for you, is I actually included the hatching scales. Okay, so you guys don't have to worry about that. So as we get into this right here, I've got this one right here. I will close out of here. I don't need AutoCAD 2020 anymore, so I'll close out of that. No changes. And so what I'm going to do is, as I went out here and I saved the, okay, so I've got this right here. So you want to have this. And the other thing you want to do is you want to download the template. The template again is wall section assignment 7. And it's right here. I should have, it says wall section 2021. That's the template though. So you download the template. And it's going to download here. It's going to be called wall section. It's a template. And then we start AutoCAD. So when I start AutoCAD, I want to use that template. And so I'm going to do exactly that right now. So right now, let's see. I'm going to close out of this one. I think I'll close out of that. And I guess I'll save that. And then I'll go ahead. Okay, I'm going to leave this one up here. So what I'm going to do here is I'll close out of this. I don't need this right now. No, and I'll go to here. Now at this point, I've got this drawing right here, and I'm just going to call this sample. I'm going to save this as the sample because it will be, you know, basically, so sample wall section. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start the new command. So I'll go to new, which is this icon right up here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this back on because I think it's helpful for you guys to see the spotlight. So I'm going to go up to the new command here, click on new. So when I click on new, it asks me to select a template. Well, the templates are going to be over where I downloaded them. So go to my downloads and there's wall section. So I'll grab wall section and I do this. So I start with that. Now that I've done that, I'm going to start by taking a look at this other and seeing what I can do with it. So I've got this right now. And what I've got is I can start with this right here. I've got this down here. And this is a rectangle. It's on the layers called footing. So I got the footing layer, and it is 20 inches by 8 inches. Let's start with that. 20 inches by 8 inches, we'll draw that. And I think that's footing. And we'll do 20 inches by 8 inches. So to do that, I'm going to make a rectangle. So to make a rectangle, I click on one point, and then I type in 20, 8, like that. When I do that, I now have this. And if I want to be sure that that's the size, I click on it. If I hover my cursor at the corner, it will tell me its size, which is 1 foot 8 by 8 inches. So we're good to go there. I'll hover that again. That's a trick you can do. See it right there? All right. So that's the first step. Now that I've done that, one of the things I did here, which I included for you guys, is actually the hatch sizes. Okay, the hatch sizes. Okay, so I've got this. Let me go ahead and see if I can open this. Open up the hatch sizes. And the hatch sizes, those actually, that should come in my downloads. And yeah, there we have it. Looks like that. Okay, so now that I've got this right here, I'm going to drop this down. And what I got going on here is I drew this much right here. I drew that right there. Now down here, I actually have the scales that you need to use for your different hatches. So I got AR conc. That's architectural concrete. The angle is 0. The scale is 0.7. So I'm just going to hatch that just to show you how this works. So over here, if I'm in AutoCAD, what I want to do is I want to be here, and I'm going to go over to this one, and I'm going to use those exactly those settings right there. And so I will go over here to my hatch. My hatch pattern's right here. So I click on hatch. And when I go to hatch, I pick here, and then I pick the pattern. The pattern I want right here is AR conc. So I scroll down until I see that. It's right here, AR conc. And the angle 0 and the hatch pattern is 0.7. So I type in 0.7. Let's see how this looks. I click inside there, and bada boom, bada bing, we look good there. So now at that point, we're off on a roll. So we did that. So back over to here, what else do we have? Now the next thing I've got is I actually then have some information right here, where this is actually, what's this dimension here to here? What is that? Let's see here. So, okay, if this is 1'6" and then it's 6 inches, that means this is 2 feet total. So this is 8, that means it's 16 inches. So this goes up 16 inches to this line, 16, and then it goes over 5, 16, and then 5, and then down 4, 16.5, because it says 4, 16.5, 4 down, and then another 4 over, 16.5, okay. So I will do that. So from here, I go in, okay, so let me see the calculator. 28 inches, this is 8 inches right here. So the 8 inches right there, I need to start going in 4 inches from the side, and 4 inches from the side, is that right? 8, 16, no, it'd be 6 inches from the side. 6 plus 6 is 12. Yeah, 6 inches from the side, and then up 16. 6 inches and then 16. So I'll do this on the next, on this layer. So I'd touch it right here and go over, and it's going to be over 6 inches. Then I go up 16. 16, boom, like that. And then when I've got that, then it goes over 5. And it goes over 5. Okay, and then I go down 4 inches. I think that's right. Yeah, I think so. 4. And then I go over in this direction. That would be over again. 4 again, I think. Then I go straight down like that. Okay, now at that point, that should be centered. Let's see if it is. So I went ahead and drew this just using the basic dimensions. So I'll throw a couple dimensions on there, see if it looks good, see if it makes sense. Should be 4 inches on each side if I did this, 6 inches on each side rather. So 6 inches on this side, 6 inches on this side. There we go. 5. That's not good. So what is wrong there? I must have gone too far over this way. Okay. So what is, okay, that is 5. That's why. Okay, this has got to be 3. So I do this, move this over. Actually, I'll show you a stretch. Stretch is kind of cool. There we go. Okay, so that's 6 and 6. And then if I want to make sure, I know I already measured the bottom, so we're good to go there. And just so that you guys are clear about what I did here, this dimension is from here to here. That's 2 feet. And I put in a dimension of, yeah, I put in a couple dimensions. So that's basically what you got right there. So I've got that. We're off to a good start. Okay, so now I've got that. The next thing I'd want to do is I'd want to hatch inside there also concrete. And I would go ahead and I'll use the same thing that I did before, which was I'll go ahead and use my footing and I'll use my hatching. And so I'll go use hatching, which is already still here. And I'll just use the same pattern I used before. So now at that point, I've got the basics right there. So now that's all put together. We're looking good. Let's get rid of this, and that's just to keep on moving. Okay, so we're looking good. I'm going to save it. Save it as a wall section. Brennan. Because I've done a few of these. Okay, so I've got that. Okay, so I've got that basic information here. Now there's a few things that are going on besides that. Now that I've got that, one of the things you see, there's a thickness here. Why is this thick? Why is there a thickness on that wall? Well, first of all, there is a tool down here, and you can see right down here. Watch my highlight here. If I go down here, I can turn this on or off. Okay, and that turns on the thickness of the walls. So I'm going to go to mine and do the same thing. So I'm going to turn on the thickness of the walls. and it's not doing anything. Why is it not doing anything? Okay, so we've got that, and maybe it's on the wrong layer. No, should be, looks like I didn't put any thickness on these layers. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't have to be. All right, well, if you want a thickness on those, you can apply that. We're not going to worry about that. Okay, in any case, we have a good start. Now, next thing we want to do is over here, we can put this in place. Now, this is 1 inch of rigid foam over on this side. 1 inch rigid foam, and that is on the insulation, layer. So 1 inch rigid foam, and we'll go ahead and do that. So I'll go ahead and put that in. So the 1 inch rigid foam insulation, I can use this, and that's in the insulation layer. And I'll go here. I'll go ahead and click here. I'll go over 1. So click 1, and I'm going to go straight down. It's going to go ahead and make a rectangle out of this just because it's going to be easier. And that way I can hatch it with the greatest of ease. Now the insulation, that's got to be, okay, insulation. ANSI 31 is what that is. ANSI 31, scale 3.4. So that's ANSI 31 for that. So I'll go here, the hatch, and I'm going to use ANSI 31. And there actually is a hatch pattern called ANSI 31, stands for the American National Standards Institute. I think I told you that last week. I told somebody that. I think it wasn't you, it was my other class. So I'll go to 3.4 is the scale, boom. And when I put this in here, it should look pretty good. Yeah, there it is, looks great. So click in there. All right, so now it's starting to look like something. Now we see that I got the insulation there. Beautiful. Now I've got this right here. I've got this over here. I've got a couple things happening here. I've actually got, let's see here. So I've got a few things happening here. This right here is a polyline starting there and going over. But first of all, before I do that, I got a 1/2 inch sheetrock here. So I'm going to go ahead and offset that, put in my 1/2 inch sheetrock. And then I've got 1 inch, and what else we got here? 1/2 inch sheetrock and 1/2 inch sheathing on each side. So I'll put that in. I'll put that in, and just to make the start to make some sense here. So I'll go here, and here's my walls. So I'll go ahead and start with my wall here, and go up here, and we will go up. I'll just go ahead and pull it up, whatever, a decent distance. I'll go ahead and go up here and drop it there. And I'll go ahead and put another one right here, just to get myself started. So go ahead and do this. And we got that. So now I got my wall. Then I have to offset those. They're each a 1/2 inch. So to offset, I start the offset command, which is here. I click on offset, ask me for a distance, which is 0.5 for 1/2 inch. I hit my enter key, and then I click on this to offset that in, and click on this to offset that in. So that is what we've got going on here. We are looking good. We're looking great. And then there's one other thing I need in here, and that is this stud. I got the stud right here. And this is actually a 2x4 stud. I think I drew a 2x4, which actually in reality be 1.5 by 3.5, but I drew it 2x4 just because I did. And so I'm going to go here. I'm going to make a rectangle here. I'll make it, I'll click here, and I'm going to type in 4,2, boom, we got that. And then I'll go ahead and just draw from corner to corner. We'll go to here, down to here. And this is typically when you're looking at a section of a piece of lumber, you do that right there. You've probably seen that before. So now I'm going to save it again. So now we are looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good here. We're doing pretty good on time, so that's great too. Next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to continue on here. And let's see here. How did I do this? Okay, then I actually have, yes, then I actually have some other information going on here. So
Hey, Professor.
yes.
I have a quick question. How high was the block? I missed it.
How high was the block? You mean over here?
The section, I'm sorry. The one you just put in.
The 2x4.
Oh, the 2x4. That's 4 inches by 2 inches.
Thank you.
Yep. And then over here, I've got this. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, I think that line is in the wrong spot here. Let me do this real quickly here. Let me bring that back. I think that's wrong. Yeah, I think that's wrong. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I think that is wrong. Okay, I'm going to do one thing here. I'm going to just go ahead and call an audible here. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to continue putting this together. I'm going to grab the slab here. Now the slab here, it's a rectangle. And what I'm going to do is I'll just use this. I can go ahead and go here and go over here. and it's got to be over a certain distance, and then it's got to be 4. So I'll just go ahead and I'll type in 24,4 like that. So when I do that, it looks like this. Now, one thing I did here is I went ahead and pressed this in. There is actually, if you look on your plan here, let me show you something here. Okay, because that's an important thing to note. And I just changed it right here. Right here, let me just go ahead and just zoom in a little bit here. That makes this real clear. Okay, this is actually a graphic error right here. A slight graphic error. Okay, right here, this little brown slab right here should not be there. So that this should be consistent green, and then you have this bituminous joint on the outside. So this doesn't reach over that far. That's an error on my part. I made a mistake there. So that's something just to be aware of. And I got my bituminous joint, and bituminous joint is on what layer? That is on this. It's on the insulation layer. So I'll go ahead and do that. And the size of that is actually 1/4 inch by 4 inches. Okay, 1/4 inch wide. Okay, so that's a 1/4 inch. So the bituminous joint is a 1/4 inch. Just remember that. So I'll go from insulation, and I'll go over here and I'll make a polyline. Why not? I'll go ahead and click here. I'll pull it over 0.25. Boom. And then down here, like that, and then up like this, and like that. And I'll close it. Okay, so that's my bituminous joint. And then I want to put in some hatching in there too. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same hatch that I used before. Hopefully this will be the same right in there. Boom. Okay, so I got that. Okay, so right now we are looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. We got that together. Okay, and then I got a few things over here. So one of the things I've got is I've got a dashed line here, the wire reinforcement. So I got a WWF here. I will see if I can do my line here, see if that's actually there. Yeah, okay, actually give me that dash line. So there's a layer called WWF, and that one actually does this, gives me a dash line like that. And then I would go ahead and put in some, now I'm going to show you a little cool trick. Well, I guess I could do this. Let's see here. If I click here and I do this, can I do this? I think I can. Well, that's too much. I don't want to get into all that. Okay, so I've got this, and what I want to do is I actually want to take this and want to, okay, so I want to copy it into there. Won't let me do that. So I'll just do it this way. I'll just go ahead and go here, hatch. We'll use what we used before, which is AR conc. The scale of this one was 0.7. Inside here. There we go. Okay, so we got that going on. All right, so we got that happening. So right now we're making great progress here. And then there's going to be some notations and so forth. So we're doing really well. And I made your life really easy here. I decided to do something here because it was driving me crazy trying to reproduce this. So this over here, here's your siding. So I've got some siding that's actually out here, and the siding is here. I used to make my students draw this, but I decided I'm just going to give you guys a block. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I'm going to drag this in here. I'm going to drop it there. Now there it is. I got the siding, and all you have to do is move it from its base point right here, right down here, and place it right down here like this. And boom, I did your work for you. So that makes your life a whole lot easier right there. And that's what you're going to have right there. And I also went ahead and gave you the anchor bolt. I got an anchor bolt here. This is another job that I I'm going to go drop this right here, and that goes right there. And it's going to go and drop right there. And that's what you have there. Kind of crazy, but that's what it is. And that, you know what? I'm going to have to redo that hatching because the anchor bolt needs to hatch around there. And I'm going to do this too. I'm going to just do this real quickly. You'll notice when I did this, it did it in 2 different felt swoops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hatching in again. And I'm going to show you a real quick trick. I'm going to go ahead and do it. If I press Control-3, it opens up my, my hatch patterns right here. And what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and get rid of, I've got these different hatch patterns here. So get rid of these. Okay, let's see if I can get this, delete that. All right, yeah, I'm going to delete this one. I'll delete this one too. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this hatch pattern. So if I click on this, hatch pattern here, I'm going to right-click my mouse and drag it up here and drop it there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. Click on that and drag it over here. And then I have it available to me whenever I want to use it. So now I just go ahead and drag this over here and hatch that and do that again and hatch that. Ain't that beautiful? And so that's a little trick there. that I went ahead and used. And for those that are interested in it, I can show you that in slow motion, or you can just rewind it. But that's using I press Control 3. Those are my tool palettes. That's just a little kind of a quick thing you can do there. Okay, so now what do we got? I showed you how to do this. Man, I gave you guys a lot of advantages here. It's going to definitely speed your night up. Okay, so from there, what else do I have? Then I've got to put in, we're just about time to put kids to bed, okay? So we're going to stop there. So it is right now 10:02. So we're going to take a little break. We'll come back. This is not going to be a long night. So I'm going to give you guys, let's go ahead and let's take 10 minutes. It's 6:50, take 10 minutes. I'll come back and we'll continue on here. So I will just do that. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes. I'll see you then. So we're taking a break. All right, taking a break, 10 minutes. Okay, we'll see you there. All right, so.
I totally forgot this. Did anyone catch that side again that he did for the top part for the siding?
What do you mean?
You see
The
where
green thing?
near the foam. What's the height of that foam again? The foam on the right side.
Oh, the small one?
Yes, not the
That's-
small, the bigger one.
Quarter.
That's 1 inch. The
1
small
inch?
one's quarter.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're back and we're going to continue on right here. So, quick question for you. Do any of you guys ever go to Trader Joe's?
I'm sorry, where?
Trader Joe's?
Trader Joe's. I haven't.
I like Trader Joe's.
Oh, you like Trader Joe's? Yeah, yeah. Have you ever had their dark chocolate peanut butter cups?
That sounds
Yeah.
so good right now. I just got that.
They're really good.
I have one right here.
Are you sharing?
I would. Actually, the first time I taught at Monroe Community College, this was in 2016, and I got in the semester ended right around Christmas. And my wife and I are nut roasters. We actually have a professional nut roasting unit. We bought it some years ago, and it's made by this outfit in Florida. And we bought this thing. It was like a $4,000 investment. So we bought this, which in today's dollars might be around, I don't know, 6,000, 7,000. So it cost a bit. But anyway, if you've ever been to a fair, or if you've ever been to, a lot of places have, but you have those cinnamon roasted almonds, pecans, and cashews. We actually roast those. And so we did these, and they're perfect. They're beautiful. They're crunchy. They're delicious. And so it's, if you've ever smelled them at a fair, you know what I'm talking about. And the thing is so really good. So we make those. So my first class that I taught, it's probably against all the rules, but I roasted up a bunch of nuts and I brought them in. And I basically let the students take them on the way out. So I did that for the first 2 classes I taught. And I did it the second semester too. And then I just didn't, after that, the next year I got really sick and that didn't happen. But anyway, but that's what happened. But I actually did. So I would love to share with you guys, but it's kind of weird. The college gets weird about that kind of stuff. They puts them in a bad position if someone has an issue with, if someone gets sick or whatever. So I get that, but kind of takes the fun out of life when you can't give somebody some cinnamon roasted almonds. Sorry, it's just it's
Hey, the secret's safe with us. We won't tell.
joie de vivre, and the joy of life, and you want to do these things. And Anyway, but yeah, if you ever get a chance, if you go over to Trader Joe's, there's a Trader Joe's actually by the Pittsford Wegmans. My wife works there. She's in the bakery. And if you go there, they've got Trader Joe's over there in that same plaza. And Trader Joe's actually has these dark chocolate. Get the dark chocolate ones. Dark chocolate peanut butter cups, and they're just crazy good. They're really good. Anyway, you would like it. You would like it. So anyway, moving on here, there's not that much left. There's not that much left. So I'll go ahead and show you what's going on here. The next thing that we need to do is put in some dimensions. Those are not difficult, so I'll just set those aside for right now. But what we will do next is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in the insulation. So I've got a layer for insulation right here. I got a layer for insulation, and it's called BAT, B-A-T-T. That's for BAT. Now, for those who are not that familiar with it, when you got insulation, it actually comes in a big, kind of a roll. It's which is called a BAT. That's what that is, though. So go to BAT. I'm going to start it right here. That's my layer, and I'm just going to use the line. Now watch this. This is kind of cool here. I go to here and I use the line command. So I click on line, and look what it's doing right here. It's actually giving me this kind of different line type right there. So I've got that. And so I've got this. You can go ahead and try that again. I'll do that and go straight up. And I'm just going to pull it up right around up to this point here. I could go further, but that's all I got. Now, it's too thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it. And then when I click on it, I need to change the actual line type scale. So I'm going to right click on it and go to properties. And I think the appropriate line scale here is, I think it's 4. Typing 4. Yeah, 4 looks pretty good. 4 fills that. I could go a little bit deeper, but I don't think it's going to. Yeah, that actually 4.5 works out nicely. So 4.5 works out nicely. So I've got that. So now I got insulation in the wall. Pretty cool stuff. And then I've got a couple other things. I got my break lines. My break lines would go on the dimension layer. And I'll just show you how those work. So over here, change my layer to dimensions. And I'll go ahead and pull in my break line. Now the break line looks like this, and I can go ahead and scale it, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drop it there. And I'll leave it there. And then I'm just going to have them scale it. It needs to be probably about, I don't know, what, twice the size, 3 times the size, I don't know, something like that. So go ahead and click there. I'll go ahead and type in 3 times the size. Okay, that's pretty good. And I'll go ahead and move it over. So I'll move it. And the way this works right here is it's going to move over. So it's kind of like overlapping this like that. So it should be. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a couple lines coming away from there. So that's how we go ahead and make a break line, at least in this kind of situation we would. And I'll go here and I'll go there. And I'll go ahead and pull that across. And then at that point, I could trim it out if it needed it. And I'll go here and do this over like that. And I could trim out any, but for right now, I don't know if that'll work there. That won't let me do that. Okay, so I can't. Okay, that will get there. Okay, so we're good to go. So don't worry about that if it overlaps it. Okay, so now that we got that, got the base here, I will trim this up above here. So trim this. And I'll do that. Okay, so that's looking good. And then I also want my break line over on this side. So I'll put my break line here. I'll drop it there. I'll drop it there. And then I'll rotate it. It's got to go like that. Then I'll go ahead and pull that. I'll scale that at a factor of 3 as well. Okay, go to 3. And I'll go drag that down. So move it. Move it from around the center point here. And
Question. Could
Yeah.
you explode the fiberglass and trim it that way? Would that work?
well, this is a line, all right. It's a line, so it can't really be exploded.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
So there are ways I actually, you know what? Not to mention it, if I exploded, it actually might be okay. It might. You're actually right. I might be able to do that. Explode it. See what it does. Okay, it already is exploded. So yeah, you can't really do that. Let me see here. Let me try this again. Trim. The problem is this is a block and that's a line. Okay, and the thing is now if I explode this, I might be able to do it. Let me try this. Explode this. Because that's a block. So if I explode that, that might let me do it. I don't know. Let me trim it, see what happens. See what that nope, still doesn't do it. So okay, bring that back. Nope, can't do it that way. So don't worry about that. If it overlaps, that's okay.
So please, could you repeat the first part when you draw the line, the blue line?
This one?
Yeah,
What about it?
yeah, that part. I lost the
Okay, all right.
the first part.
All right, to do this, what you would do is, first of all, you always want me the correct layer. The correct layer is BATT. We do that. And then the layer does all the work for you. So I'll go ahead and just go, because the layer I have it defined with the correct line type. So I'll go to line, and I'll go ahead and take it, and I'll go ahead and start it here, and I pull it up. And you'll notice it's already got that particular character to it, like that. It's already got that. So then, what if I trim it now? Yeah, that works. All right, so we can do that. All right, now at this point, I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to change the properties. So the line type scale over here is 4.5. Okay, when I do that, it fills that. Does that help?
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So we go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're looking pretty good here. We're looking pretty good.
thank you, thank you.
Sure, sure. And that's what you do. And I'll continue on through here, and I'll go ahead and do this and pull that up like this. My machine's starting to drag a little bit. And there's kids out in the pool tonight. That's crazy. But there's actually kids out in the pool a couple houses down. I can hear them splashing around. It's crazy. Maybe you guys can hear them too. All right, go ahead and do this. Trim that out. There we go. Okay, so I've got that. That is a good looking brake line. Okay, so we got that going. Okay, so that is most of it except for the notation. Last couple things are how to put in the hatching for the earth and so forth. So to do this, I'm just going to go here. I'm going to use hatching, and I'm going to use hatching. Now hatching, what I have to do is when I'm working with AutoCAD and I want to put in hatching, you have to give it a good boundary. So I'm going to make a polyline. So
You're on the gravel.
I'm sorry, what?
It's not on hatchet, it's on gravel base.
All right. Well, it could be either, but thank you. We'll go ahead and do that.
I just wanted to make sure it was okay for either one that we use.
It'll work either way, but thank you. Thank you. And we'll go here. I'll go ahead and bring this out to here, and I'm going to pull this down. Now at this point, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end it right there. I'm going to end, actually, I'm going to end that one right there. And I'm going to go another polyline right down to here, and I'm going to end it right to there. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go to my polyline. I'm going to pick a point here, and I'm just going to kind of like make a jiggity jaggedy thing. All right, just to kind of like do this kind of a thing, because very often it's kind of a random look like that. Okay, so I've got that. And then I'm going to trim that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to join those together. So to join them, I'll type the J letter for join. I'll go ahead and select these right here, and all these elements that can be joined together. 3 segments joined to the polyline. So they're all joined to a polyline right there. So now, oh, I didn't do one thing first. So I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to spline this. When I spline it, it gives me that kind of a look too. That's much better. So I'm going to join it, and I'm going to go ahead and go through here like that. And I'm going to type in J for join. And then that's all joined together. So that is a good foundation right there. Now, okay, let me. So what I did is this, just to show you this again real quickly here. I went ahead and I used a polyline. I went like this, and I gave myself, these edges. I probably shouldn't. Oh, well, we'll do that like that. And then I did this last one. I did this last one individually, and I went like this, like that. Just kind of make it jiggity jag there. I double clicked on it. Then when I double click on it, I can then spline it. When I spline it, it gives me that kind of look there, and it can be as, it can be as exaggerated or as, whatever you want it to be as far as that goes. But I'm just, moving these around to show that it's editable. And then I go to join them all together. So to do that, I use the join command. I type the letter J. It tells me that's the join, and I hit the enter key, and then I go ahead and hit these. When I do that, that is all now a polyline right there. It's all a polyline. And this is a polyline down here too, which means I can then hatch inside of it. So to hatch inside of it, that's actually going to be, that's going to be my sand right there. So I'm going to hatch, and the pattern is going to be AR sand. AR sand. And the angle 0, the scale is 0.25. 0.25, boom. And I'll go ahead and hatch inside there. Boom, looks like that. Okay, that's how we go ahead and make these work out like that. Then over on the opposite side, I want to go down 6 inches from the top here. So I'll go ahead and start the line command. And from the side, I'm going to go down 6 inches. Beautiful. Come on, then go down this way. And over here, I'm going to go down over, kind of like down like this. So it's like that. And then I can do the same thing that, then well, I'll go ahead and do it this way. I'll go ahead and bring this down a little bit further like this. And I'll do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a polyline like I did before. Click here, and then we'll go ahead and just kind of like go ding, ding, ding. I don't know where I ended that. So there, and spline it. Very good. Then I want to join those together. So J for join, and I'll go ahead and grab these. My enter key, and see it, and that's all there. So now what I want to do is I want to hatch earth inside there. So I'm going to use the earth pattern. So here, and I'll change hatch, go to earth, right there. And the scale is going to be 2.4. This is all on the sheet I gave you guys. All right, pulls down. 2.4, 2.4. Okay, so then I'm going to hatch inside there. So you got that. Okay, so now that's basically what you got. Those are the basic elements. At that point, I think I've got it all. Now I just have to put in the notation. I think I have this all set up so that it's all set to do that. So I'm going to go here, and the layer for that text would be right here, it'd be white. And I'm going to go to leader, and I'm going to start with my leader right here. So I'll start here, and I'll go ahead and call this the stud over here. And I'm going to go ahead and pick a point right inside here, click here, pull it over. And I'm going to go ahead and type in stud, S-T-U-D. All right, and then go ahead and continue with these. I got one down here, which is R11 Fiberglass Insulation. By the way, fiberglass is actually trade name, only one S. I don't know if you do that, but that's actually true. And so,
I never knew that.
well, I learned that when I was down at the Owens Corning World Headquarters. I was actually doing some work for those guys, and which is really pretty cool. And I found that out. I was like, I've been spelling it wrong. Because you want to, when you're with a customer, you don't want to give them reasons to think you're an idiot, So you got to kind of learn some stuff, And if they suspect you're an idiot, that's one thing. But you don't want to give them any hard, fast data. So you do that. All right, and so moving along here, then I got a 1-inch by 8-inch cedar siding. Okay, so over here. I'm going to go here, and I'm doing a little bit different here. I'm actually giving a little bit of an angle here, just because I think it gives it a better look. So 1-inch by 8-inch cedar. Okay, let's back it out. 1-inch by 8-inch cedar siding. 1-inch by 8-inch cedar siding. That. Okay, and that is how we go about doing this. And I don't think I need to do all of it. The only thing that I think might be any kind of a issue would be this right here. Whereas this one right here, I actually have a dot on the end of this one here. So I click on this. If I click on this right here, I can go down here and change the leader to, instead of being closed filled, I can make it a dot here. And that, that's if you want to get, technical, you can go ahead and do that. I could also, I think that might be small dot actually. Let me try that. I think it's a small dot. Dot small, that's it, dot small. And it does that. Okay, so once you, nope, wrong one. All right, try it again. Dot small. Okay, and then we do that. So that's how we do that. And that's just kind of a little detail thing. Okay, and I think that's about it. Then you just put your dimensions on it. The dimensions are already scaled in such a way as to be, how you want them to be. So we're going to go there. That's 1.6. And then this next one, I'll go to my other dimensions. And I think the rest of this is pretty straightforward. You guys can do the rest of this pretty easy, I think. So I'm going to go here to here and pull it out, and we drop it here. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's how that would be. And then the last thing would be putting the text on the very bottom. So I go to here and I go to text. And I think I have my text set up right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and click here and pull it down. And I'll just go ahead and type in wall section AA. Like that. And when I do that, it's kind of small. If you want to enlarge the text, you can by clicking on this. And if you click on that, you can then go to here and change the text height from 1 inch, like let's say maybe 3 inches like that. And when you do that, it looks like that. And that, that's just a thought, so anyway, that's how that works. And I just went ahead and enlarged it to see my properties. And that's it for that one. This one's not terribly difficult, but with everything we've been doing, I also gave you guys a few shortcuts there using the blocks. But that's it right there. You get this together, that's what you want to make, and that is a very respectable looking section. And the most popular video I have. So that's it right there. So I'm going to park it here. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, stop the movie, and then we're going to go ahead and I'll stop